name is Dr. Maruf Salman. Today I'll be talking about 5 golden rules for building personal brand. Personal brand, yeah, that is very important, very essential for individual, as it is equally important for corporate organizations. Most of the times, we're talking about brand, people normally think about corporate organizations, big organizations like Coca-Cola, like Pepsi, like Cisco, like Facebook. However, as corporate organizations build their brands, the individual could also do that. Individual could also do that. You could build your brand in such a way that it becomes recognizable around the globe. Just like we have individuals who have built their brands, like the likes of Tony Elubelu of UBA, Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook, the Warren Buffett of this world, Tony Fernandez of this world, and etc. All of these people built their brand not because they are chairman or CEO of the organizations I've mentioned, but because of the personal value they are adding to the global community. So today we'll be looking at 5 golden rules for building personal brands. But before we go into that, we need to define what a brand is. What a brand is. From a marketing perspective, what can we regard a brand to be? Talking about brand, from the marketing perspective, a brand could be all those elements. Talking about logo, talking about slogans, talking about name, design, and all of that can be used to identify the product or services of a particular organization from that of others, and can equally be used to differentiate the product of a given organization from that of competitors. There are 2 keywords there: identification and differentiation. It means that with the brand element, right, you can differentiate among the products which Coca-Cola, for instance, offers. Coca-Cola has a number of products in its product categories: Fanta, Coca-Cola, and all of that, right? Sprite and all of that. Then you can use brand element to equally differentiate between the product of Coca-Cola from that of Pepsi, or that of Proton from that of Perodra, or that of Toyota from that of Coca-Cola. Perodra from that of Honda. So that is what brand does. Brand, differentiates and identify, the product and services of organizations from that of others. So as we can have brand at the level of branding concept at the level of corporate organization, we could also have it at the level of individual. It means that individual can also build a brand. Is that right? Talking about personal branding, what does that really mean? It's just the process of distinguishing yourself, the process of differentiating yourself from others. In terms of value, you can render in certain profession. For instance, if you're an accountant, do you differentiate yourself from other accountants? If you're a marketer, what do people know about you that makes you to be different from others? They can identify you and they can differentiate you in terms of what you do. It's about the niche you have carved for yourself through your communication, beliefs, goals, and purpose. So that is what personal branding is for individual, just like it is for an organization. Then the big question we need to ask ourselves is, does personal branding really matter? Does it really matter? I think the answer to that is yes. And a lot of people will agree with me that personal branding matters, even though majority of people do not recognize why you have to build your brand, personal brand. It's okay. What are the reasons why you have to keep your brand personal? You have to be your personal brand. Number 1, it keeps you on the driver's seat of your career. What does that really imply? It implies that when you build your personal career, you be in charge, right? You be in charge, you'll be able to control your destiny. Because you'll be able to know what you are doing and how to do it specifically, how to add value to the people's life. You see, we are patronizing big organizations today. We are, we are enjoying their services because they are adding value to our life. They are solving our problems. Our expectations are being met by the product and services they are rendering. Is that right? If you go to your bank, for instance, if you go to Bank Islam, or you go to UBA, or you go to Senate Bank, the services you are getting, right, are meeting your demands, meeting your needs, solving your problems. That is why you keep patronizing those big organizations. Then, as an individual who is building a brand, right, you must be ready to do what? To add value to the lives of others. You must be ready to add value to the life of others. So you have to build your brand. Building your personal brand keeps you on the driver's seat of your career. And when you build your personal brand, people will be able to, trust you, determine whether they are going to hire you, right? Determine whether they are going to, handle their resources onto your hands. Determine whether they are going to do business with you. I won't employ an accountant, an independent accountant, right? Or an accountant who works for an organization without being sure that the accountant is going to help me to solve my problems. And that is what personal branding is all about. Your ability to carve a niche for yourself, ability to differentiate yourself from the crowd. We have several accountants around the world. But how unique are you in terms of what you do and how you do it? Is that right? That is what personal branding is all about. But having discussed about what a brand is or what a branding concept is from the perspective of the organizations and from the perspective of individual, right? How easy it is to build a personal brand. How easy it is to build a personal brand. Honestly, building a personal brand is a daunting task. It is not an easy task. It's not bread and butter's game. It is somehow challenging because a lot of people do not know how to build their brands. So let's look at 5 golden rules of how to build personal brand. Essentially, I said I'm going to discuss 5 golden rules. The first point is you need to have focus. Focus implies that as a person that is building a personal brand, right, you need to have a specific direction. You need to have specific direction. Specific direction implies that you don't have to do everything. You don't have to be everything. You do not need to handle too much, right? You don't have to be, jack of all trades, master of none. If you're a jack of all trades, it means that you do this, you do that. You go into so many issues, so many problems. You're trying to solve everything. Whereas you cannot solve the problem of the entire world. You need to have a specific direction. According to Siglar, right, it is not lack of time, but lack of direction that gives people problem, that makes people not to succeed. Right? So, in essence, you have to decide what the key message is all about. What is your key message? What is the key product you are trying to give to the people? What is the key service you are trying to give in a given particular niche? And you have to stick to it in a given particular niche. For instance, are you a marketer, right? Which area of marketing are you specialize in? You don't have to be a generalist. Handling as many as problems in the area of marketing. You need to narrow your focus to 1 or 2 areas. In essence, you must keep your message and content to one niche, like I said before. One niche, one specific topic or topics, and one special area. And it is when you keep your message to one particular area, specific area, that it becomes memorable within a target community. A target community means that you have to segment your market. You cannot serve the entire Malaysia, for instance. You cannot serve the entire China, for instance. You cannot serve the entire Nigeria, for instance. You cannot serve the entire companies, for instance. You need to have specific area which you are targeting, which you are working on. And the truth is this: the narrower your brand is, and the more focused it is, the more or the better people will remember you when it comes to engagement. Oh, you want to employ somebody, you want to recruit a consultant in the area of TKM, they remember your name, right? Or they want to talk about technology adoption, they remember your name, because that is your specific focus, that's your specific direction. That is number one. Have the focus. Then number two, you need to be genuine. One of the easiest way of building your personal brand is to be, transparent. Is to be authentic, right? Authentic means that you are original. The opposite of original is fake. A lot of people trying to build their personal brand, they are copycats. They copy Mr. A, Mr. B, right? They copy Mr. C and pastes. Copycat copies and pastes. So you don't have to do that, because if you do that, people will be able to detect easily, oh, this guy is not original, right? This guy is not original. If you are not original, it means you are not innovative. It means that you are copying people's ideas and you are just applying it directly. Of course, there is nothing wrong in looking at what people have done initially or before, right, and build over it. But copying and paste will be very dangerous adventures for your personality. So this may therefore implies that before you start to build your brand, you will have at least, have some experience, maybe in the industry. You will have mastered some skill sets, right? Or you have mastered your craft in particular area or areas. And when you have done that, maybe over some few years, it's not necessary that you have to have spent donkey years in particular industry before you start to build your career. No, build your personal brand. But at least you need to have some hands-on experience over time. You won't just jump into building personal brand, right? Then, after you have mastered the skill set over some time, right? Then the message you'll be sharing after that time, will help you to amplify your personal brand. Then, the third point, you have to be consistent. Consistency is the soul of business, is the soul of life. It is lack of consistency, right? It is lack of persistence that makes a lot of people to fail. When you have started something, people with lack of consistency, when they started something, they do it, within a short period of time, and they abandon. They engage in this product, in this project, they abandon it within a short period of time because they are experiencing some challenges. That is not what that is not too good for your career, for your personal branding. So you have to be consistent. Any type of message you are passing, whether offline, online, any type of products you are rendering, you are offering, any type of services you are given, you have to be consistent about that, right? Then you have to demonstrate consistency, like I said, across your communication, your gravitas, your appearance. That is why you see organizations today, big organizations, right? They maintain consistent appearance over time in terms of their structures, in terms of the way they dress, in terms of the way they package their products, and etc. So consistency matters across your communication, gravitas, and your appearance. Inconsistency is very dangerous for your career because it's going to derail your career. So the first point I've discussed is about you need to have focus, you need to be genuine, you need to be consistent. Then the fourth point is that you have to be ready to fail. Failure is part of life. Failure is inevitable. If you are not ready to fail, you are not ready to learn, you are not ready to succeed. Most great brands either a corporate brands or individual brands, they have failed several times, but they learn from it. They learn from their failures. Most innovation we are talking about today, have failed. Most innovation, most new products we are seeing today, have experienced some failures, whether in the course of test marketing or before that time. Then, once you have failed, you'll be able to learn from that. Failure does not mean that you're a failure. It means that you have not done it. You have not done it the right way. Maybe the first time, the second time, the third time. But as you are failing, you are equally learning from the failure. For you to build your personal brand, you have to be ready to fail. You have to be ready to fail. Then the last point I'll be discussing today is that you have to make positive impact. Life is about touching the life of others. Whatever you are doing as an individual, that is trying to build his or a personal brand, right? Then you have to make positive impact. Most corporate organizations today, they are making positive impact, whether profit-making or non-profit-making organizations. They are making positive impact in the life of others. That is why we are buying their products. That is why we are, asking for their services. So you as an individual, you must be ready to make positive impact, because positive impact is the essence of personal branding. So you have to keep a positive attitude and assisting others. And that will not only help you to build your career, it's going to help to amplify the career in the long run. And one most important thing is that you have to ensure that people you are meeting or you have met along the line while you are trying to build your personal brand or your career, you have to keep in touch. Ensure that you don't cut bridges. Remember, somebody assisted you to reach wherever you have got to in life today. So definitely, you have to keep, the communication going on. You have to keep the contact going on. You have to keep the communication intact. So that is the essence of personal branding. So I've just discussed 5 golden rules of building personal brand today. Before I discuss that, right, I've discuss about what is a brand from the perspective of the organization, and I've equally discussed what is personal branding from the perspective of individual, and I've equally highlighted why you need to build your personal brand. Like I said, you need to build your personal brand because it's going to keep you on the driver's seat of your career, of your life. And it's going to determine whether people will hire you. Even if you want to work for an organization, for instance, they want to hire you as a consultant. It will determine whether people will trust you and whether they were going to give their resources to you. Then, having discussed that, then I mentioned or discussed 5 golden rules. You need to have focus. You need to have focus. Focus is essential, because that means that you have a specific direction. You need to be genuine. You have to be original. You don't have to be a copycat. You don't have to talk like somebody. You don't have to dress like somebody. You need to be unique. And across everything you are doing, your message, your product, your services, your appearance, you have to be genuine. Then you have to be consistent. I said consistency. Consistency is the soul of business, is the soul of life. Lack of consistency kills a lot of people, makes a lot of people to fail. Then you have to be ready to fail. Failure is part of life, it's inevitable. As a person that is building personal branding, you must be ready to fail, because most experienced organizations who have built their brand, most great individual brand, experienced failure before. So yours will not going to be first time. In fact, failure is a pedestal to reach your destination. And the last one is that you have to make positive impact, and that is the essence of personal branding. That is the essence of branding. So thank you so much for today. I hope you have enjoyed the interaction for today, and we're going to see you next time. For feedback, You can check my follow up with me at marufsalman.com, or you send message to me through my Instagram page, maruf_salman, or reach me at salmanmg@gmail.com.